Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Jen's Happy Home. If you're new, please go ahead and subscribe down below so that I can update you every time I have a new and fun video to share. I hope that you're enjoying my little Disney series of videos. I'm having a really great time making them and sharing with you the experiences that I've had through traveling to Disney over the years. So today we're going to be talking about the second and third step in my planning process, which is figuring out the dates that you want to go and then booking your hotel. So I have gone to Disney at various different times of year, and obviously it all depended on what my circumstances were at the time. Before I had children, I basically planned my vacation in according to the crowd tracker, which I know I've mentioned this before on my previous videos, but if you go to touringplans.com, you can take a look at all of the dates and it will show you how crowded the parks are and stuff. So I used to always go in September because that's when the kids are all back in school and the weather is not the best. There's a lot of rain. It's hurricane season in Florida, but because of that, it deterred a lot of people from going, so we never really waited on many lines. And you know, of course there were days where we basically got up, put our ponchos on, and went to the parks because there was a lot of rain. But it was really nice to not have to fight with the crowds. It wasn't too hot. And all of the water parks were still open, so we were able to take advantage of that as well. The other thing that I liked about traveling in September was the parks weren't open as late as they are in the summer. At the time that I traveled, I think most of the days the parks were open like 9 to 7 or 9 to 8, something like that. And that sounds like it's a short day, but because there weren't many crowds, we didn't suffer in missing out on certain rides and events and shows that we wanted to see. And back then, and I'm really going to date myself now, there was Pleasure Island. And please comment down below if you remember Pleasure Island or if you've ever been there, because it was like so much fun. There was a club there called the Adventurers Club. And me and my husband used to really enjoy going there. There was like this room that you would sit in and all the tiki masks would kind of be a part of your conversation and poke fun at you. Anyway, I really miss that. But since then it's become Disney Marketplace, and then after that I think it's currently Disney Springs. I haven't been there yet. But in any event, because we finished our day so early, it was nice to have that downtime to go have a relaxing dinner and to go enjoy other parts of Disney. So that is really what I most enjoyed about traveling to Disney in September. Once I had kids, everything changed and I had to completely change the time of year that I went to Disney because I couldn't pull them out of school as soon as school began. So that's when I started experimenting with going to Disney in the fall. I live in New Jersey, and it's actually called Jersey Week in Disney because a lot of people from New Jersey go there. It's the teacher convention that's going on that time of year, and it's usually approximately the first week of November, where we have 3 half days and 2 days off of school. So the kids really don't miss very much, and it's right around Halloween time. So the first time that we went, we were able to take advantage of Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, which was amazing. And I will talk more about that in my next video coming up, where I discuss some of the special events at Disney. So that was a lot of fun. Sorry, my cat just came in the room, sorry. And I also enjoy going to Mickey's Christmas party, which is a wonderful time as well. So I had you know, a great experience with both of those parties, and it's really wonderful that we get to go that time of year with the children. So now when we go, I try to do at least the Halloween party or the Christmas party, depending on what the dates are of the convention and what dates we're able to go. The fall is also a really great time to go because there is a concert series going on and there's some really great bands that play. I mean, like famous people, you know, bands that you would know and music that you would know, and they're just in Epcot Center, and there's this pavilion and they just play, and there's like a different act, you know, I don't know if it's every day of the week or certain days of the week or whatever it is, but that's really great. The last time we had gone, we saw Christopher Cross, and he was really, really wonderful. He put on a great show. And then there's also the Disney Food and Wine Festival, which is a lot of fun, and that is in Epcot. It's just a great time. You can go from country to country and sample different types of food, and if you're on the dining plan, which we're not going to be this year, I'll talk about that another day, but if you are on the dining plan, you can use your snack credits to sample food at all of the different countries, which is really a lot of fun. Sorry, I had to take a break to drink some water. I'm very chatty in my Disney videos. If you know me outside of YouTube, this would be very strange because I am not a chatty person, but when it comes to things that have to do with Disney, I can be really chatty. So anyway, the winter months are fun to tour Disney only because if you go early enough in the winter, everything is still decorated for Christmas. So I've gone at the beginning of January, and the Magic Kingdom still had all of the Christmas decorations out, and the castle was still decorated, and the parks weren't that crowded. The only problem was the hours can be shorter, and the water parks are not open. So that kind of could be a deterrent for some people if you really wanted to take advantage of the water parks. Otherwise, the winter is also a good time to go. I think that there are certain times you have to check the crowd tracker in, say, January, February, and into March, where you can find weeks that are really not that crowded. Now, once we get into March, and I believe it's March, April, and May, they have the Flower and Garden Festival, or the Garden and Flower Festival, and they just have all of these bushes that are just like transformed into beautiful, vibrant colored Disney characters, and all these beautiful floral pieces, and they have a beautiful fairy garden set up, and it's really, really pretty. We have gone before in April, and the weather was kind of similar to the fall weather that I'm used to, where the days are warm enough that you can go swimming and enjoy the day at the park, but sometimes the mornings and the evenings can be a little bit chilly, so you do need to put like a light jacket or something in your backpack, or our family typically goes back to the hotel like in the middle of the day just to relax and have some pool time and nap and do what we need to do, and then I would shower and change into warmer clothing for the evening. So the spring is really a nice time to go, and the kids do have spring break. If you're lucky enough to have a different spring break than most other schools, it might not be like too crazy crowded, which is good. And then that brings us into the summer months. I'm not gonna lie, guys, the summer months can be brutally hot and uncomfortable to travel in. I have gone to Florida in August, and I can honestly say I was miserable. There was a lot of bickering and fighting amongst family members. People were cranky, and we needed a lot of downtime in the afternoon. So even though the parks are open a lot later over the summer to accommodate all of the crowds, we felt the need to go back to the room every day by lunchtime, and literally I would have to like take a 2-3 hour nap and maybe refresh in the pool a little bit and then go back in the evening. And we like to do that anyway, but I just feel like in the summer I need a lot more of that because the sun and the humidity and the rain can be really, really draining. But if you have tolerance for that and you can handle, you know, the really hot weather and the crowds, then the summer is a great time to go because the parks are open a lot later, and all of the nighttime events and everything is going on more regularly because there's so many people there, and of course you can take advantage of the water parks, and I'm sure you will need to. So, you know, I know a lot of people don't really have a choice, and especially if you're a teacher. My sister-in-law is a teacher, so we've gone a couple of times over the summer so that her family could go as well because going during the school year is not an option. But I would say if you can avoid going over the summer, you would be a lot more comfortable going any other time of year. Okay guys, so now let's talk about where to stay, because that I can say I have done it all. I have stayed at the absolute cheapest hotel and driven to the parks every day. I have stayed in a nice condo outside of the park where we had a full kitchen, and I've stayed in every level of resorts. It's 3 tiers. There's like 3 levels. So it's the value resorts, the moderate resorts, and the deluxe resorts. And I can absolutely say, without question at all, that the way to go is to stay in the world. For me anyway, I just like to be completely engulfed in the magic of it all. The first time that we went to Disney, we stayed in a hotel that was $25 a night. No joke. And it was in Kissimmee, which is right outside of Florida, or not right outside of Florida, right outside of Orlando, and it's very close to all of the parks. And we drove to the parks every day. And it was still wonderful, and we had a great time. Realizing that I'm saying wonderful a lot in this video. Sorry, everything's just so wonderful when it comes to Disney, right? Or magical, that should be the word that I'm using. But anyway, currently I feel like the packages that Disney puts together for you, it just makes so much sense to stay in the park. I think that it is actually way less expensive if you get a hotel room in Disney and you have the park passes, and you know, whether or not you opt to do the dining plan, just having everything included just makes it really worthwhile. And we've actually had a situation where we could have stayed right at Disney Springs. There's a hotel like right there where you could actually walk to the shopping area, and my husband had points or whatever, and we could have stayed there for free. But when we did the price difference, opposed to staying there for free, a beautiful hotel, and they also had buses that would bring you to all the parks, opposed to staying in Walt Disney World, it was actually cheaper to stay in Walt Disney World because our park passes were so much less expensive, rather than to stay at a different hotel outside of the world and purchase our own park passes. So anyway, for me, it just makes sense to do it that way. And when you do stay in Walt Disney World, you can take advantage of Disney transportation from the time that you get off of the airplane up until you need to get back to the airport at the end of your trip. They have the Magical Express, which will pick you up right from the airport, and you tag all of your luggage, and they usually send you really cute luggage tags too. So everything is tagged accordingly, and they know, exactly where your luggage is going to. You get onto your bus and you go to your Disney resort, and it's just really nice to not have to worry about renting a car. Once you're in Disney, depending on what resort you stay at, you have really phenomenal transportation. Now, if you're at one of the value resorts, you're taking a bus to all of the parks, and sometimes that can get a little bit tricky because the buses are shared with some of the other value resorts. So, there are things that you may have to deal with, like waiting on lines to get a bus or a lot of stops along the way. Sometimes it takes you a while to get where you need to go, but you will get where you need to go. The moderate resorts are a little bit better about it, and some of them actually have a boat that can take you like over to the Disney Marketplace. We like to stay at Port Orleans, which is really a beautiful hotel. I should actually tell you a little bit about that because it's so pretty, and I'll try to insert some pictures so that you can see what the pool looks like. I can show you what the room looks like because we stayed in the princess room. And I think it's called the Royal Rooms, and it's very beautifully done. Behind the bed they have it's like a fiber optic picture, and it's kind of based on Princess Tiana, the Princess and the Frog, and all of the princesses come over to visit Tiana or something, and they all bring a gift. So there's a whole theme to it, and I'm sure it's discussed in the unofficial guide to Walt Disney World, which was my #1 tip in planning this vacation. You can learn more about the resort. I also like it because the landscaping is so pretty. There's like a river, and you can take out boats, and you can go on fishing trips there. We've done that. So Port Orleans, I think, is really one of Disney's hidden secrets. It is a moderate resort, and it's nice because it does fit a family of 5. Most of the value resorts only fit 4 people. So if you have 4 or more in your party, you can go to like one of the Art of Animation value resorts, which are kind of bigger suites that accommodate more people, but they are a lot more expensive too. And then we've stayed at the Deluxe Resorts, which are really, really beautiful, and I think well worth the money just because they're so convenient. And the reason that they're so convenient is because the transportation is a little bit better. I think they really upped the game with the transportation. They have some of the hotels, or the Contemporary Hotel has the monorail that goes directly through it, and that just makes it really convenient to get to and from the parks. Some of the deluxe resorts are in walking distance to some of the parks, so that's really nice. And the restaurants in these hotels are a little bit more upper scale, a little bit nicer. The food courts I think are a little bit nicer. So I mean, obviously everything is just kind of like one up from the other. So the Value Resort is great because it's very themed. So especially if you're traveling with young children, they just have like the big Disney icons, and it's a lot of fun for little ones. I mean, if you're traveling with a toddler, I think that they would really get a kick out of the Value Resort. You definitely should look into those. But if you have a bigger family, which is what prompted us to check out the moderately priced resorts, they're very beautiful as well. And then the Deluxe, we've stayed at the Wilderness Lodge, and that was really nice. It was very close to the parks. We could actually take a boat ride over to the Magic Kingdom, which was really nice. So I enjoyed that. So guys, that's it for today. I hope that you learned something from me in regards to what time of year to go and where to stay. I really hope that this was helpful to you in some way. If you like this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to comment down below if you remember the Adventurers Club. Way cool. And thank you again for watching. Have a great week. Take care. Bye.